I brought my latest version of my Union Station project. This is my second attempt. My first attempt, I didn't like how it turned out, so I started over. I implemented all kinds of different construction method changes, and turned out to be a lot better the second time around. So the building is pretty much done, and I'm working on surrounding structures such as roads and that kind of thing to fill in the gaps there.
In this,
N scale. This is my own design. It's not based on any prototype. I kind of hope this will be the centerpiece to my upper deck when I get started on that. My layout at home so far is just got the lower deck, and this is going to be on the upper deck.
to it.
Yeah, so lighting in there are all LEDs. All the roof panels are removable, so you can kind of see the wiring is kind of rudimentary in there. But all the roof panels are removable, and that way I can get inside if I want to do any detailing or have to fix any lights. I wanted to design something to fit the space I have. This is where it will be on the layout. You can see it there. Where it will be on the upper deck of my layout. Yeah, it'd be a kind of a large locomotive service facility there. I also wanted to convey just some degree of plausibility. A lot of times I'll see a big station just kind of plopped on a platform that's plopped over the top of tracks, and you don't really know how the station connects to the tracks. But this way I designed something where you can kind of see how you get from one place to the other, and see how you get from the station down to the tracks. There's stairs and elevators in there. So again, I'm just looking for plausibility. I'm not a structural engineer or anything, so I don't know if my plan is really sound, but trying to do the 50s and 60s. Passenger streamliner era. You can see I've got some little sample railings here. Those little railings will continue all around the edges here. I'm going to make some little traffic lights for the intersections here, so those will be animated. Yeah, what you don't see here is the tracks in front of the station. There's going to be a few tracks in front of the station that start a big rail yard will start here, so there'll be some tracks in front of the station there. My main line runs right underneath the platform.
Well,
yeah, I try to, I guess. I'll have a coach yard, so I'm going to try to build some support buildings back through here. A little kind of light diesel servicing area here. So I don't know a whole lot about what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go. So
sometimes that's best.
Yeah. This was my plan that I drew to start the second attempt. I tried to do a much more detailed plan than my first try. Try to account for all the building materials.
So,
it's all scratch built. It's made from sheet styrene and strip styrene. Basically kind of laminated together to make the different layers. There's 2 layers for all the windows. You see how there's kind of an inset. One kind of inset, the windows are kind of inset. And I put together all the walls first, and then I came back with all the detail. That made a big difference in how it went together. I was able to make nice, clean butt joints with all the corners. That was a mistake I made on the first try, was to try to build up the detail first and then glue it all together. And that didn't work very well. I also put a base underneath the main floor here, and that helped to get the angle right, plus make it all flat from one end to the other. There are actually a few little screws, about 4 small screws, that kind of bolt this down to the platform, and that way all the columns are flat to the ground. They're not floating on the bottom. That was another problem I had with the first drive. Those are just tubes. They're evergreen tubes. I forget the diameter, something like 9/32 or something. And I just cut them to length. I actually had to sort of individually fit them in there because there was still a little bit of variation, as careful as I tried to be. So I actually had to kind of custom fit each one to make sure they fit just right. The painting or the coloring is all pan pastel, just a little bit of water and pan pastel. I've sort of dubbed the technique heavy weathering.
Heavy weathering.
Yeah, it's not really painting or coloring. It's more like heavy weathering. Yep, these are all individual little sawtooth or whatever you want to call it. That's all individual pieces glued on. I had a little chopper, a little Midwest chopper I used to cut all the little pieces, and they go all around, go all the way around, completely around the roof line. The windows are just the glass is a transparency sheet that you'd use for the old overhead projectors. I was able to get some of that. It's thinner than say acetate. It's a lot cheaper. The window dividers here are just a black fiberglass window screen. So that works out well for that. All the individual pieces in here are again small strips, styrene strips that were all individually put in each window. Clock tower, you can see there's individual strips up there. And I managed to, I don't know if you can see it, I managed to find a little weather vane to put on the very top of the clock tower. Little brass piece. Nice little detail. I added rooftop details here. These are just bolster pins from, N-scale trucks, the little bolster pin that you use to fasten the truck to the chassis. These are rooftop details from Walters, the little rooftop details that I put on there. Yes, it's my own design. I'm not an architect or an engineer, so I tried to come up with something that just looks plausible. And these light poles will be duplicated all along the edges of the bridge. Back here, there will be building flats here at the back. This will be the back of the layout. And so there'll be building flats here to kind of try to make a urban setting.